everyone. Welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. Vice President Joe Biden visited Georgia recently. He was joined by Mayor Kasim Reed and Senators Johnny Isakson and Saxby Chambliss for a tour of the Port of Savannah. Vice President Biden came to offer his support for the deepening of the port's harbor, a move he stressed would strengthen economic competitiveness and job creation throughout the state. The historic district of Savannah. Its old world style is considered one of the most beautiful cities in the country. This historic district is also home to one of the busiest commerce corridors in the world, the Port of Savannah, operated by the Georgia Port Authority.
We handled 27 million tons of cargo in our fiscal year 2013. We've got 5 deep water ports. We have a container facility, the largest in the United States. Atlanta is such a crucial part of the success of the Georgia ports. We will not go where we need to go without Atlanta because of the size and the population. We've got 5.6 million people right in this region. That is the largest inland port on the East Coast.
The importance of this port for Georgia's economy is front and center.
I want to thank Mayor Jackson really for having such warm hospitality and welcoming me to the stage. But what you really should notice is right behind me is this beautiful blue ship has Atlanta on it. So the folks in Savannah, y'all went big.
Mayor Reed joined Senators Isakson and Chambliss to welcome the Vice President to the port for a first-hand look.
What you do here is absolutely amazing. It's one thing to read about the fastest growing container port in the country. It's quite another than to actually see it.
The Vice President says deepening the port is vital.
75% of all the commerce in the world is in the belly or deck of a ship. And what are we doing? We're arguing about whether or not to deepen this port another 7 feet. Folks, look, it's time we get moving.
Right now, post-Panamax vessels are too large to cross the Panama Canal. By deepening the Savannah River by 5 feet, the project will make room for Savannah to accept larger vessels down this river once the expansion of the canal is completed in 2015.
350,000 jobs supported by this port, and tens of thousands of those are in the metropolitan Atlanta region. When the Panama Canal opens in 2015 or 2016, the freight that comes into this port is going to be unloaded and dispersed throughout the southeast through the city of Atlanta.
Governor Deal, working with the Georgia General Assembly, has allocated $231 million towards the project. Now it is up to Congress to meet the current construction budget of $652 million. Since opening last year, business at the Maynard H. Jackson International Terminal has been booming. Passengers have the ability to dine in fine restaurants, shop for luxury goods, and relax in style as they wait for their flights. Now Korean Air passengers can find some of those same amenities in the air. City Talk's Troy Danicus has more on the airport's newest arrival.
Members of the Mayor's Office, City Council, and Hartsfield-Jackson Airport welcomed Korean Air's Airbus 380 to Atlanta. The aircraft is the largest passenger jet in the world. While the A380 can hold up to 800 passengers, the Korean Air version only has 407 seats.
We did that because really we wanted the passengers to have a high-end luxury experience. So we've got an upper deck that's got only business class seats in it, plus 2 bars.
The upper deck also holds 94 sleepers for anyone looking for a good night's sleep during those long international flights. Other amenities include a lounge with bartender service and a duty-free boutique. 2 runways and 3 taxiways at Hartsfield-Jackson were widened to accommodate the large jet. New passenger loading bridges were also added.
With the size of this airport and what we have to do, having Korean come in here really says we made the right choice in building the new international terminal.
A380 service between Atlanta and Asia will initially operate on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, but daily service to Seoul will begin in October.
The inception of the A380 service at Hartsfield-Jackson is indeed another validation of Atlanta's position as a potent and vibrant global city.
For City Talk, I'm Troy Danicus.
Atlanta is currently one of only 4 U.S. cities to offer A380 service to Asia. The Atlanta Police Department wants to expand its highly successful system of tracking gang activity to include additional metro counties. The Atlanta Police Intelligence Network, or APIN, is a web-based platform that acts as a living file for police investigations. Details of crimes and suspects are entered into the system. If the system recognizes any similarities between different cases, it notifies investigators of possible new leads. APIN helped increase indictments by 97% between 2011 and 2012 and led to 22 guilty pleas. APD hopes Clayton and DeKalb counties accept the invitation to join the network. We'll keep you updated. On the agenda, the Atlanta City Council passed legislation to plant new trees and to use goats and sheep to eat invasive plants. Trees Atlanta will plant about 4,000 small 15-gallon trees and nurture them for 2 years. The trees will be distributed evenly around the city, with each council district receiving about 200 new trees. The trees will be planted by Trees Atlanta volunteers, residents, and school kids. The government and the City of Atlanta is working together to create healthy, sustainable neighborhoods, and the Eastlake community is leading the way. Atlanta's Eastlake community has come a long way, and recently the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Secretary visited the area to reiterate the government's commitment.
Let's be clear about what we need to do as a country to make sure that there are more Eastlakes, that there are more choice neighborhoods. There are over 4,000 communities around this country with concentrated poverty and so many of the symptoms that we saw here in Eastlake in 1995. We must commit to scale up this work.
Over the past 13 years, the Eastlake community, which includes the villages of Eastlake and Charles Drew Charter School, has transformed from a troubled neighborhood with high crime and poor schools to a livable, healthy community that is thriving.
Drew Charter School was the first charter school in Atlanta's public school system. It now has 1,200 students from pre-K to 9th grade, and a new high school is slated to open next fall. Mayor Reed and Secretary Donovan saw firsthand how the improvements at Eastlake are making a difference.
Eastlake has become a national model for providing a best-in-class cradle-to-college education, high-quality mixed-income housing, safer streets, and support for lower-income families.
The tour was an effort by the Obama administration to promote Promise Zones, which use federal, state, local, and private resources to revitalize distressed neighborhoods. Eastlake is a shining example.
A child's zip code should never determine his or her destiny.
The mayor says planning and partnerships make success stories like Eastlake possible. Donovan agrees and adds that Atlanta is a great act to follow.
Every child, every person deserves to live in a neighborhood that connects them to opportunity, to good jobs, to great schools, to decent housing, and to affordable health care. And that's what we see here. That's what needs to be replicated around the country.
The Eastlake area also includes an early learning center, a YMCA, and a world-class golf course. The community is invited to a Fort McPherson open house on October 12th. The City of Atlanta, Invest Atlanta, the Atlanta Beltline, Georgia Trade Up, and several other organizations will provide all kinds of information. There will also be hourly presentations and tours. To find out more, give them a call or visit their website at mcphersonredevelopment.com. The Corrections Department and Public Works partnered to clean 30 city rights-of-way over the next 30 days. The city kicked off the 30 and 30 initiative at the beginning of September. The group will remove graffiti, tires, trash, and debris from city streets, vacant lots, and underpasses. We caught up with them out in Mechanicsville.
The community is very grateful here in Mechanicsville, but also the community around the Atlanta University Center area, that these things are getting done, because we want all our neighborhoods to look good.
Crews worked the entire stretch of Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard. Mayor Reed was on hand for the groundbreaking of Georgia State University's new College of Law building. The new facility will be at the corner of John Wesley Dobbs Avenue and Park Place, just 1 block away from the Peachtree Center MARTA station. It will feature a law library that overlooks Woodruff Park from an outdoor terrace. Students will also be able to take a break from their studies at the library's cafe.
This university is doing what great institutions should do. They take people who need a real opportunity, a genuine chance. And if you're willing to be honest, work hard, and give it your full effort, you can achieve what everybody else can achieve.
The College of Law building will also house the Atlanta International Arbitration Center and a ceremonial courtroom with seating for 230 people. Students will hold classes in 50-seat and 90-seat classrooms. This groundbreaking follows the August opening of the school's new administration building on Auburn Avenue. Mayor Reed and Councilmember Cleta Winslow took part in the groundbreaking of the new Cristo Rey Atlanta Jesuit High School. The Catholic school takes kids from tough neighborhoods and gives them an education that readies the students for college. Cristo Rey also helps students get corporate experience through a work-study program. Councilmember Winslow, who is Catholic herself, is excited about the new school.
One of the reasons that it's so exciting is because a lot of the Catholic schools were closed down in the inner city probably about 10 years ago, and they moved out to DeKalb County. So now there are more people that have moved back into the city of Atlanta, and there is a greater need for to have elementary, middle, and or high schools in the city.
The high school will be located at the Archdiocese of Atlanta in downtown and plans to open its doors in fall 2014. Councilmember Natalie Archibong joined Kirkwood residents for the grand opening of Anna's Barbecue on Hosea Williams Drive. Anna's Barbecue is the latest in an array of new restaurants and local businesses that now call Kirkwood home. Anna's is opening at a time when Kirkwood's business district is beginning to flourish.
This is one of Kirkwood's newest businesses, and it's another affirmation of the walkability of our community commercial nodes in this area. Kirkwood is a vibrant, beautiful community full of restaurants and retail shops and services that make a community rich and inviting.
Kirkwood's business district has become what neighbors call the small town in the big city. Mayor Reed hosted author and Howard University chairman Frank Savage recently here at City Hall. Savage released his book, The Savage Way, last year, which documents his life from his childhood in Washington, D.C. to his career as a global financier. The memoir also takes a look at his experience as a yachtsman. The night began with a one-on-one conversation between Reed and Savage.
What's the most important characteristic in a director for a major public company?
I think the most important characteristic is to be an independent thinker, because you actually are representing the shareholders and you're representing the bondholders. You're not representing management. You have to be in a position to question management. So independence is by far the most important aspect.
Savage concluded the evening with a book signing where he had a chance to speak with some of his fans. Atlanta remembers the men and women who lost their lives on September 11th. And the American Red Cross is here to give us safety tips for hurricane season. Stay with us. Reuben Brown is here from the American Red Cross to give us some hurricane preparedness safety tips. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
When is the peak of hurricane season, and how busy does the Red Cross get during that time?
Well, hurricane season starts on June 1st. It peaks in August and September, and it ends on November 30th. And as I tell people, the Red Cross can get very busy during the Atlantic hurricane season. So far, we've been fortunate this year in that we haven't had any storms to really impact the United States. But that could change, as we found out last year when we had Superstorm Sandy, that one storm caused quite a bit of damage during the month of October.
How big is the Red Cross's Southeastern Division, and what region does it cover?
Well, the Red Cross Southeast Division covers Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, and the Caribbean. And we're very busy during hurricane season preparing people for what may come. We have thousands of volunteers in those areas, in those states, and they're at any given time can respond to disasters, whether they be floods, hurricanes, you name it, those Red Cross volunteers are always on standby.
What's the difference between threat levels, a hurricane watch versus a hurricane warning?
Well, a watch means the conditions are favorable. That means that it may happen and you need to pay very close attention to the weather. A warning means that hurricanes or storms, tornadoes, floods are imminent. That means that they're going to happen or that they're already happening. You need to take precautionary actions immediately. In the case of a hurricane, you want to make sure that you have a disaster kit. You want to make sure that your family has a plan, and you want to make sure that you have an evacuation route plan just in case you have to leave the area.
The Red Cross does a lot more than respond to natural disasters and hold blood drives. How does the organization help at the local level when disaster hits an individual?
Well, a little known fact about the Red Cross is that we respond to home fires. In fact, here in the Metro Atlanta area, the Red Cross responds to, on average, 3 to 4 home fires every single day. And so we want people to be aware of that. It's not just the big disasters like tornadoes and floods and so forth. It's those small disasters, we call them mini disasters, that can impact people just as bad or just as much as those major disasters.
And you brought a disaster kit to show us what we need.
I did, and this kit is something that we recommend that people equip their homes with. They want to make sure that the kit is portable, make sure that the kit is prepared well in advance, and make sure that the kit is accessible. They want to make sure that they don't have to run around their homes when disaster strikes and try to assemble all the items that are included in the disaster kit.
All right, Reuben Brown, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Kaiser Permanente's corporate run walk got the metro area moving, and Atlantans laced up in Grant Park to support literary programs. Back in a moment. Atlanta police and fire gathered to commemorate the 12th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Here's a look back at the ceremony outside of Public Safety Headquarters.
So what separates those who pursue that career from all the rest? And I would submit to you this morning that it is their heart. It is something innate in those individuals and in those persons that make them able to run headlong into danger.
As the building was attacked, people began to stream out of both those buildings. It was quite evident that there was a major issue that had taken place. But as people streamed out, first responders streamed in.
But the firefighters and police officers heroically gave their lives trying to save the lives of others. And in public safety, we've just made a vow that we would never forget.
I have found that there's no greater group of citizens than the citizens of America. I have found that there's no greater soul to call home than the United States of America. But for us to provide this way of life for the next generation, all of us must be ready and willing to make a sacrifice.
They had the heart for service. They had the heart for sacrifice. They had the heart to go in there and do what most people in this country, in this world, simply do not do. 9/11 is personal to me. It's personal to America. It's personal to us. We value you, we love you, and we will continue to support you. But moreover, we admire you for having the heart to do what you do on a daily basis.
Employees represented the city of Atlanta during the recent Kaiser Run Walk. Participants from the Metro Atlanta business community flooded downtown streets near the Capitol. City Talk caught up with runners and walkers before they left the starting line. The 5K race is the culmination of an 8-week fitness program sponsored by health insurer Kaiser Permanente.
Research shows that walking 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week, reduces the prevalence of disease dramatically. 50% reduction in diabetes. I think the business community is seeing data like that, and they're encouraging their people to get active, get healthy.
Participants from DeKalb Medical and Georgia Tech had the fastest times.
3, 2, 1, go!
Hundreds of runners and walkers turned out to support literacy during the 3rd annual Fit for Lit 5K. The theme for this year's event was Running with the Story. Participants were invited to dress up as their favorite literary character, but it seems like they didn't get the memo. Race supporters did, however. The event raises awareness about adult illiteracy in the metro area. Proceeds from the 5K will benefit groups that work to increase reading skills for nearly 900,000 adults. Book donations were also welcomed at the Run Walk. Some lucky people got to see the Jackie Robinson story Under the Stars. And the historic 4th Ward Park gets a special award. That's next. The school year is in full swing, and so is the City of Atlanta's Cultural Experience Project. In its 9th year, the project gives Atlanta Public School students a chance to participate in activities that introduce them to some of the city's premier arts venues, while at the same time deepening their understanding and appreciation for the arts.
1, 2, 3, go.
That one's rosemary. Sometimes we use it to cook our pizza with.
Welcome to Atlanta's Botanical Garden. Today, this 30-acre floral menagerie is serving as an outdoor classroom to 1,500 Atlanta Public School kindergartners.
They make seeds, right?
It's called Kinder in the Garden.
They're here to learn all about plants and plant life and to enjoy the beauty of the Atlanta Botanical Gardens.
It's all part of the Cultural Experience Project. Today's event kicks off the 9th year of this groundbreaking endeavor.
We think it's amazing. We've just finished our 250,000 student admission. And we're so pleased that we've been able to offer this great experience for Atlanta's children. Who can read? Today I went on a cultural experience project.
A cultural experience project.
Field trip.
Field trip.
Okay, and you are Caden Long from Adamsville Primary. So happy to have you all here. We also today honored Turner Broadcasting Systems because for 9 years they have supported the bus transportation for all the children.
What is that? Do you know what that is? A cotton ball in a bag and a seed. They need water and sun to grow into a plant.
The cultural experience has multiple benefits. For one, the children get to actually experience the culture. You never know what impact it's going to have on a child's life. You don't know if it's going to encourage them to be on the stage or to dance or to read or whatever. But we think that having exposure to arts and culture really stimulates parts of the brain.
This resin and beeswax, and they push it in. And
what kind of plants did you all see?
It was like this.
Thank you.
Transit is the theme of the upcoming Elevate Atlanta. The week-long series of public art exhibits begins October 18th and runs through October 26th. Installations, murals, and performances about time, people, and places will be seen along North and South Broad Street and in the vicinity of the 5 Point Station. Elevate 13's lineup includes artists Sheila Pre-Bright, Sarah Emerson, Peter Tonningston, and Lisa Levine. Also on the schedule, some really great performance groups.
Atlanta is a transit hub, has always been, and we think that it's important that we use art to encourage people to explore the city using transit.
The Office of Cultural Affairs is sponsoring the event and has teamed up with some of its partners to offer biking and walking tours of the exhibits. MARTA will dedicate its number 49 route as the Elevate MARTA bus, which takes passengers through parts of downtown where the artwork can be seen. For more information on Elevate 2013, visit ocaatlanta.com. Those in District 3 enjoyed a movie in the park. Councilman Ivory Lee Young Jr. invited the community to Washington Park to watch 42, the Jackie Robinson story. His constituents brought blankets and folding chairs to see the movie Under the Stars.
It's a great movie, and many of us have already seen it in the theater, but now we get it under the comfort of this beautiful weather and this beautiful park here in historic Washington Park. And we're just very excited to have all these great residents.
This was a great evening of outdoor fun. Pet Education Day in Perkerson Park. Pet owners came out to have their pets vaccinated and to get information about pet health, training, animal control regulations, and other issues. Councilmember Joyce Shepard and Fulton County Commissioner Joan Garner hosted the event to increase spaying and neutering efforts and to educate the public on pet care and responsibility. The City of Atlanta has online services available to make doing business with the city a little easier. On our website, you can pay water bills, municipal court citations, parking tickets, and apply for permits. Atlanta's list of online services will continue to grow as the city strives to identify more opportunities to provide access to government services via the internet. For a full list of online services, visit our website at atlantagA.gov. The Department of Watershed Management and the Atlanta Beltline continue to receive recognition for creating the historic 4th Ward Park. The park was recently awarded Project of the Year from Urban Land Institute Atlanta. The organization commended the city for developing a model for how municipalities can sustainably deal with stormwater drainage issues that plague public spaces. Since the park opened in 2011, it has encouraged development along the Beltline, and the completion of Pont City Market just across the street will further redevelopment in that part of the city. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.